Hello, this is Cuckoo. I'm at Superbooth 2026, and I am right here at Sleepy Circuit with this fellow here. Hello.
Hey, I'm Ron from Sleepy Circuits, and today I'm showing off Hypno 2. It's my dual channel audio-visual sampler and resampler and looper. So it's got two channels of video. There's no limit to the length of the video. They can be either generative shapes or they can be actually samples, so MP4s that you can load in. Now it actually, as of about like half a year ago, it does both the audio and the video on each of the channels, and it supports audio interfaces as well. So if you look over here, we've got the three encoders. The center button represents the main channel. The left button represents channel 1, and then you got channel 2. So the idea here is that you mix and match two videos and to create completely new compositions. And then when you find something that you like, you can just hit record and then stop. And then it'll actually just keep that in there, and you'll be able to loop and both the audio and the video. And then after you've made some loops, you can open up the file browser. So we've got a full file browser in here. So you can rename stuff, you can select stuff. So the idea is that you don't even have to leave this device in order to manage your media library. It also supports webcams in. So they're called UVC devices. So you can do webcams or capture cards on either of the channels. And then, this interface goes pretty deep. You can even, like I said, it has generative shapes. And now you can even hit view on the shader code. So all the shader code that I wrote, if you want to get heady with it, if you want to get real deep with it, you can even do that.
Very, very cool. I mean, when you see stuff like this, when you see the code suddenly flashing up, it's like, wow, that means that somebody who knows how to do that stuff can write their own shaders.
Yeah, I'm hoping some people from the community will pull up and port some effects. Of course, I've got big plans for it, but that's a pretty deep rabbit hole, so I just trying to get the basics in there.
What kind of language is it? What sort of standard of shaders is it?
So that's called GLSL. On here, I even have the highlighting so that it matches the language, so you can see everything. And then the way it works. So on the channels, you can load the shapes, and then on the master channel, you actually have effects. So you can make both generators and effects, and then load them in. One thing I wanted to talk about next is the modulation system, which now is kind of crazy, actually. So this is a full touchscreen, as you can see, and then there's a bunch of parameters, right? And say I want to do rotation. If I hit the label, I can then turn up the gain, and there's actually like 12 shapes of LFOs per parameter. Each of these is CV, so I can plug in a CV, if I can do this with one hand here. And now you see it's like very simple. You just kind of plug it in, select it, turn it up, and then now I have both the CV and the internal LFO going. And then the really cool thing about Hypno 2 here, if I may reset this, it also has a built-in microphone. So it's that easy to just have something audio reactive. And furthermore, I now also have the band following. So you can also split the audio low, mid, high. So you can have, let's say, I like to do a color offset on the kick drum, and then maybe like a rotation or a zoom on the hi-hat. But that's just an example. Any of the parameters have a completely independent LFOs and modulation matrix.
That is very cool. So you say every parameter you can hook up the CV to any exposed parameter?
Totally. CV or MIDI CCs, it's got a full implementation. You've got 4 CVs on the back, and there's actually 2 clock inputs on the side as well. Those clock inputs can synchronize the LFOs, they can reset the videos, they can reset the LFOs as well, so you can use the LFOs as sort of envelopes, so you have kind of a per parameter envelope as well. And then now the parameter system is quite advanced, and to the point where literally I was just playing a show and I found this new thing where I was like able to use the audio to do just a little bit of feedback, so you get a little grain every time like a hi-hat hits and stuff like that, so you can get really precise with it now. It's really exciting.
That's super cool. That's very sick. How many shaders can you run at the same time?
So it's 2 channels, but what you can do is then you can hit record and resample and resample and resample indefinitely. So you can make quite complex collages on the thing. So it's 2 channels at a time, but basically, I guess it's kind of like freezing a track in audio. You can kind of bounce it down to one of the channels so that, I love the SP404. So I was really inspired by that to make a workflow like that for video. And now that I've added an audio engine, you can actually do the same for audio as well. So yeah, I just added the audio. That's pretty exciting. So if you have a video that you've got, or like you're trying to practice sound design for film, you can totally do that on here. All you have to do is just like plug in any kind of synth or audio interface, and you can just feed the audio straight into here, and then you'll be able to rip that right on top of the loop that you're going to take. And then what I'm really excited about is that you can actually then play videos with the MIDI keyboard. So, of course, Sleepy Circuits, I got MLK, I have a dream in here, so it's going to say freedom at different pitches. So any video can kind of become like a traditional audio synthesizer as well. Yeah.
That is super fun, very fun. How many different formats can you pump into? Is it pictures? Is it GIF animations? Is it like MP4s, MP3 even?
Yeah, so MP4, MP3 are kind of the 2 primary formats that I'm focused on. They're kind of the most compressed and the most convenient. But I'm not supporting GIFs yet, but I do have SVG, vector graphics in there, JPEGs, PNGs, not animated. For moving stuff, I have MP4 as kind of the primary format. So yeah, but I mean, if there's a particular format that you're looking for, send me an email and I'll see about making that into my giant list of stuff to do.
And what about the shaders? When you create a shader, what can you include into a shader pack? Is it only code, or is it also other assets? Like
Yeah, so I mean, primarily, so it depends, right? There's kind of like 2 shaders. There's like the effects, and then there's the generators. The ones on the channel are kind of just generators, and then by default, if you want to sample something, I just have like a really complex sampling shader that's kind of built in. I don't have that modifiable yet. I haven't figured out the workflow for that just yet. But of course, the effects, they can sample it. And then if you want to save a whole patch, it saves a JSON preset, and then it does the associations for the different files. And it'll actually try to relink them if you try to move them, because you can actually move and manage all of your MP4s and presets here right on board.
Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, we're moving at lightning speed here through a lot of advanced features, and I feel like I was thinking about the resolution. I can see some shaders have pretty high resolution. What's the native resolution for the outputs and also for the videos?
Yeah, so that question is always like, the answer is more complex than you'd expect. In the very end, you have just a 1080p video coming out, and that's upscaled from a slightly smaller resolution, which is like, I don't remember the exact one. Let me see, I have it in here. Oh yeah, the settings menu is pretty wild now. So the built-in like compositing resolution is 800 by 480, but the videos, so it outputs at 1080. It composites at 800 by 480, but then the samples can actually be up to 1080. Stills can actually be up to 4K, so you have a lot of zoom. Yeah, but that question always kind of trips me up, because especially when you do generative shapes, you get such complex things that it doesn't even like come through on YouTube, because the compression stuff is generally made for, well, videos like this, where you have somebody speaking and it's like kind of focused on their face. When you have like every pixel can be different, you'd be surprised how complex the effects are, even at a smaller resolution than you think. Yeah, so.
And one thing I'm wondering is how kind of open is it to various workflows? I'm thinking in my head now, like, could you make an LFO cycle through a folder of images and thus in that way create a little animation?
Right. Good point. I forgot to mention that. I just added this cool thing. It's not quite an LFO cycling through a thing. What I have to kind of a solution for that is that here I have playback modes. So in addition to just simply looping and one shot, you could do bounce, of course. These are the basic modes. But then you also have next, and then previous, and then random walk, and then shuffle. So basically every folder in here you can treat like a playlist, and it'll play the next video, the next video, the next video. So you can essentially like leave hours of content, and if you need to step away from your video station, you know, do something else, because often when you do visuals you're kind of stuck at your station. It's totally possible to just like play gigabytes and hours of videos without doing much of anything. Yeah, so they're kind of follow playback modes, but I'm not quite sure how you would do that with an LFO, but if you have ideas, let me know.
Yeah, yeah, I'll let you hit you up with the hard ideas. I'm coming from an animator background, so that's why I'm like, I really like to make custom animations, and if it's per frame basis, like just cycling through PNGs, that would be really fast to load. It could almost handle like a video probably.
Yeah, I mean, you can, I guess if you could export those as, I mean, essentially these are like strings of JPEGs. You can think of them that way. They're not quite. And then you can, if you can rip it into an MP4, you can then essentially, you know, choose the frame rate and then go slower and faster through the sequence of images.
Well, what kind of MP4 format are you kind of preferring? Because if you go backwards in a MP4 that has I don't know what it's called, but it's heavier to go backwards in MP4 than forwards.
Yes, once again, very observant. So the interesting thing about this system is actually it takes out just all keyframes from the video. That's how we can get this kind of here, let me get a preset of like something long here. So that's how you can get an instant seeking anywhere. So you can even put a random LFO in there and seek anywhere in the video instantaneously. So it's all keyframes. Yeah. So that's how it can, that's why it can do it instantly, is because it actually decodes it ahead of time. Okay. So you have keyframes only. That's kind of what's really unique about this system, actually, because most software will kind of, you know, have a compressed video, which if you seek, you need to kind of like catch it up. Yeah. And that's also why I put there's a solid state drive in there, right? So they do become a little bigger once you decode them, the videos. Yeah. It comes with 256 gigabytes, but you can upgrade it to whatever you want. This one I upgraded to a terabyte, so you can like put your whole life onto it or whatever. So yeah.
Super nice. And these are ready to order? You're shipping them?
Yeah, these are ready to order. I've got them in stock direct. We got Schneiderslauten here in Europe. We got Perfect Circuit, all your usual suspects. So, you know, if you're interested, please pick one up. And, you know. Oh, yeah, so it's $14.99 US at the moment. And yeah, you get a all-in-one VJ DJ system, a hard drive, and basically the way I do gigs is every month I have a monthly gig. I bring this, a projector, and a projector stand, and that's all you need to run a whole night of visuals.
So where can people see your monthly gigs?
Currently I'm from Los Angeles, so currently I'm doing this gig called Rare Candy over there, which is kind of a bunch of jazz people. So if you're in Highland Park in Los Angeles, you know, come through. It's a monthly gig, and we always have a blast with I usually bring actually more than one projector, so it's even a little more than that. We go hard, you know.
Well, see, that sounds wonderful. So please, everyone in the Los Angeles area, hit them up, and yeah, Sleepy Circuits.
Thanks for coming through, man. Love to see you.